Hello and welcome back to Thursday's vlog. Sorry I missed Wednesday's vlog because as you have just seen, I did a bit of a different role for you on Tuesday. I did like an hour long one. I can't do that every day because I can only get when I've got free time and as and when in between jobs. But I hope you all enjoyed that. I've seen that you wrote some comments, but I was that busy yesterday I didn't even get home last night till after 9 o'clock. I was picking up a little project. Some of you will laugh, but on the weekend, it's a bit of a weekend, bit of fun. I'll let you see. I bought another vehicle as such, but it's not a car. So, we'll see on that one, probably on Saturday. I had to go and pick that up, got home, got sorted. By the time I got in, I've got all sorts to do. And there's some message I've got off YouTube. They never say that there's an issue with something, then you get a message through, like, as you said, the adverts on my channel, like the AdSense thing. It's been on there for months now, and there's never an issue. Then all of a sudden they find there's an issue, that you need to do something in order to move forward. I can't understand. It's saying something to do with tax reasons or something. Yeah, something to do with tax reasons, but then it says US only. Obviously, I'm in the UK. My account is properly registered in the UK. I did all the, at the beginning they do the red boxes, the crosses and the ticks. Did all that, green tick, a few days later, amber thing, you need to do this, did that. And then all of a sudden, 3 months later, now it's saying you need to provide tax, fill a tax form in, but even though it says US only, so you go onto it, you press it, the box comes up, disappears, and then you can't go any further. So, just does my head in, things like that. Like, I just woke up this morning, I was quite happy, read my emails, there's something from that, because until you do this red thing, they don't let your monetization go through. So, I'm not getting paid pennies, by the way, people, pennies. I don't have flipping 80 and 90,000 subscribers. I get pennies. So don't think I'm making money off this. But hey ho, like I've always said, if you want more content, please put up with the adverts a little bit, because remember, the adverts give me a few pennies. I'm talking pennies per every 100 views. So, but if that adds up over a year and I can get a bit of money out of it, it'll help us buy a tripod, it might help us get a camera of some kind, it'll help us towards putting it's certainly not going to be money to buy a project, Christ, it'll be a lot less than 100 quid, I bet, for a year. But, the way I look at it is, they're going to put adverts on my channel anyways, so please, if you do have this YouTube Premium, it doesn't help me at all, because when you do the premium, you don't get the adverts, therefore you give the money to YouTube directly, and you kind of boycott the YouTubers like me and everybody else out there. We don't get nothing out of it when that happens. So just in case you think having YouTube Premium is a good thing, it might be for you, but it ain't good for everybody that you watch. And like I've said, that's something I didn't know. I've just been watching this and learning things about it over the last few months, but that's what I've got to do tonight when I get in. And of course, you can't just pick up a phone or email them. It's all this shite with bloody, frequently asked questions, which is a load of rubbish. You cannot get through with anybody. So I think what it might be is when I'm clicking the button to go on this form on my phone, it's not letting us do it, whereas I think if I go on my laptop tonight and do it, it may work, I don't know. But it's annoying because it says US for US only, and I'm like, well, if it's US only, why are they prompting me to do this? It would be great just to pick up the phone and say to somebody, look, this and this, then they sort it out for you. But as you know, in today's day and age, we don't have phone numbers anymore, we don't have offices where you can walk in anymore. Nowadays, most companies don't even have an email address, it's like, there's just no way of contacting them. I don't know how you can run a company or a business and not have any form of contact. It's beyond me. But anyways, that's that. I'm saying that's my morning carry on that I've had this morning, which I couldn't be bothered with. So what I've got in today is more. I'm going to try and do a bit of filming, but I'm going to try and keep this one short because the one was a bit long the other day. But today is just, which I'll explain to you, just carry on, which I can't be doing with. It's just ridiculous. So this stupid thing here, an Insignia, please, whatever you do, don't buy an Insignia. Flipping awful. These newer shaped ones, on an 18 plate. This is when Vauxhall can't decide who they are or what they are. I think they forgot that they're Vauxhall anymore, because this is when they were coming out of having Fiat engines in, putting Citroen engines in them. Then they started with the 1600 Fiat engine, so they're just so super duper awkward, expensive, and for such a mainstream car, not just the Insignias, the Astras as well, they're a nightmare for diagnostics. So this air filter he has for it, it's in for oil and filter. It's in for oil and filter, and this is the air filter. And this thing here, believe it or not, for just a normal Vauxhall Insignia 18 plate, it took a week for it to come. So for parts, they're very awkward to get. They're very awkward to get parts for. As you can see, it's a bit of a weird looking thing, but it shouldn't be nothing out of the ordinary. So yeah, so that was awkward to get a hold of. The fuel filter they couldn't get at all. Nothing special, but again, what I tend to find is as well, they're very, very expensive for some weird reason. I don't know why, but they're just expensive. Way more expensive than any other car. It's the Fiat section of it, I think, because this has got I believe, a Fiat or a Citroen engine. I haven't even looked under the bonnet yet. Sorry, I got stopped there, literally in the space of, a minute. I've had like 2 people come in. So yeah, just be careful if you own any of these newer style of Vauxhalls, because I think they're just forgetting what they are and who they are. Nightmare for parts, nightmare for prices, because they're very, very expensive, and just availability in general. I mean, you can get them from the dealers, but you'll be paying the price. As you can see, the oil's just draining out. The oil filter's already gone in, which is at the top. Air filter's ready and waiting to go. It needs rear tyres because they're all perished. But what it does need is rear brake pads, because they're getting a little bit on the low side. We advised them a little while ago. But here's the other problem: electronic brake calipers. As you can see there, just a motor on the back of them. It's an electronic motor, no handbrake cables. So, as you all know, with these electronic handbrakes, you've got to wind them back with the diagnostic equipment. Our diagnostic equipment does everything from Bugatti, believe it or not, Bugatti, Ferrari, whatever weird brands you've never even heard of. Some of them on there, like Chinese brands I've never heard of in my life. It does everything. All of like my Chrysler V8 Hemi that I had went on there, no bother. My Jeep, which American stuff are normally quite funny, goes on that. I've had it on SsangYongs. I've had it on, what's them vans called again? The LDV vans, which I don't know what they call them now, Maxus and stuff. All of that, all the electric vehicles, everything up to 2022. But do you know what it won't do? And I've had this on a normal run-of-the-mill Astra, about a similar age, I think it was a 17 plate. It will not connect to these Vauxhalls to wind the handbrake back. It does every other car, every other thing. You just go in to an Insignia or these newer ones, or Astra. You go in to press the button like on the scanner to put it into service mode to wind the pistons back so you can change the pads. Won't do it. So we're annoyed at that. So I had to go and borrow some equipment, which my dad, that's why he's not here now. He's gone to pick that up from a different garage to borrow, and left them with our equipment, so they're not left with nothing. So thanks very much to them. It's lovely that they're going to help out. That's great. So, you know, just things like this, just, you know, a set of brake pads, man. It should just be simple. You know, just be able to just go up, connect it, done. Nah, but we've got to connect computers. You know, modern cars now, they're just... don't get us wrong, yes, when the equipment works, it's not too bad, but it's nice just to take a wheel off and crack on with the work, not standing with a laptop and a computer to change some brake pads. I mean, tell me, where is the, you know, pros and cons? What's the pro to any of that? Just leave it be. You know, I know electronic handbrakes, I'm not going to knock them too much. They are very handy. When I did my car and trailer test, my BE, sore subject, because everyone's got that now, I did my test with a vehicle with an electronic handbrake, and this was back in 2012, when they were new. It was a new idea. I'm telling you what, for doing your tone test, or even your basic driving test, pulling away on a hill, it totally cuts out the ability to slip back to fail. So that is good stuff, but not that good to have all this hassle on cars. So, onto the Hyundai Ix35. Quite a nice car, this inside. Lovely spec, leather seats and everything. In for MOT. And the guy, which I don't often do, bought these brake discs off me, discs and pads, and he fitted them himself. I don't normally allow that, but these people were struggling for money a bit. I thought, well, let him get on. It means I'll check it over. The thing I'm not too happy with here, he's been messing on with the bleed nipple. But I have to have a look at that because that's slightly damp. That's dangerous for the test, so that'll be getting sorted. Bottom ball joint, probably won't be able... I can't actually. Can you see that moving? I'm trying to move my arm and not move my other arm at the same time. Don't know if you can see that moving. Just in there. And the reason why that's gone is because I hear a lot of people moan and complain on saying, oh, rubber boot, my car's just failed on a rubber boot, what's the big deal? Well, that's the big deal. That boot's been rotten to bits, I haven't touched it, dirt's getting in, worn out the ball joint, and now it's not dangerous, it's not actually going to fall out, but I would give it another month, and that would be ready to pop out, and that's when you're going round a corner, and all of a sudden your wheel comes more or less off, buckles round, bang, you've had an accident. So very important. I just don't know if you can see that moving on there. It's only just slightly. But that's the play in the ball joint. I could get a lever in and show you, but we're going to get on with this. 3 bolts, get the pinch bolt out, the clench nut at the top. That's there. I've just been letting it soak in oil. So that's that. I've checked the rest of the car over, bar this tyre. Getting a little bit near the limits, but it's perfectly fine for the test. Remember, MOT is to minimum standards only, not servicing standards. So unless something is on the mark of being dangerous, you can't fail it. So like this tyre, you can see the little grooves. They are at 1.6 mil, so I would say this tyre is at about 1.8 to 2 mil, maybe. Without the gauge tester, I can't really, it's sitting in the drawer. But that's passing advice all day long. So don't go on, these people go on that MOT testers are just after money and pulling your car to bits. It's not. You are MOTing to the minimum standards. So minimum standards, remember that. Not to the maximum standards. We're only trying to keep you safe on the road. Do you want your wheel to fall off? Do you want to have an accident? Do you want to kill somebody? Honestly, I don't understand why people pull MOT testers to bits. It's for your own safety. I get it. Some of them are out there money grabbing, failing pathetic stuff. 100% agree. Not pathetic stuff that aren't a failure. But please just remember, it's here for your own good, really. And even if it's not your car that they're doing it to, if it's somebody else, they're the one barreling towards you at 60 mile an hour on a single track road. If they lose control, the wheel comes off, a tyre's baldy, and they hit you and hurt you and your family, you'd think twice, wouldn't you? That's the way I look at it. Keep people safe on the road. Never mind them. They're sharing the road with you, so by doing this, you keep yourself safe. So yeah, so that on with this now, get that ball joint off that, get that away for test. And that's the other issue I've got today. 3 MOTs in, this one, and I'll show you the little car outside, and then we'll wrap the video up for today. Right, now onto this little thing. Sorry, the sun's really bright there. Onto this, got the little Vauxhall Corsa, 1.2 limited edition. My partner, when I first met her, had one of these. She got rid of it for, she got a little mini 51 plate, which I wish I'd kept now. I wish I had kept off her. And then she got the Astra off me, which she's got now. Hers was a diesel one, horrendous engine in these 1300 Fiat engine. Avoid them like the plague. And to be quite honest, the petrol engines in them, if not looked after, suffer terrible chain issues, timing chain issues. The 1.2s, the 1.4s and the 1 litres. Best thing you can get in these is the 1.7 Isuzu engine, but at this point they were very, very rare and very few and far between. But yeah, I suppose the 1.2 and the 1.4 petrols are an okay bet if you look after them and change the oil, but definitely avoid the diesel ones. But they're a pretty cool looking car. I will say one thing with these side skirts though, they are an absolute nightmare. Look how far the sill sticks down, the fake sill before the real sill. Nightmare to get the lift on these 2-post lifts. Horrible cars to get on the lift. Yeah, but the limited editions are quite nice actually, because you get the full body kit, which I admit does look quite stylish, and you get quite a few nice bits of spec inside as well. You obviously get the front fog lights, electric windows, you get all like the plug-in AUX, but mainly as well on the mold you get the cruise control, which is nice to see, because even in a lot of the higher spec ones you don't get that in. So yeah, her car was identical to this, to the absolute key, apart from it was diesel. So yeah, this is in for MOT. As you can see, it's had 2 new back tyres on, because they were all cracked and perished. I had the front tyres done last year, and it's had a service as well. So that's that done. Not really much to speak of that. Pull that mirror out. Yeah, so that had an oil and filter done, because last year it had the full service. It hasn't done many miles. All it had is oil and filter and rear tyres. Now with these, as you know from my previous videos, Remember, this is just a Fiat Punto, not a Corsa, not a Vauxhall. There is Vauxhall bits in it, obviously. The engine in the petrol ones are GM, whereas the diesels are Fiat. And there is bits and bobs Vauxhall around the car, body-wise, shape-wise, but underneath, just pretty much a Fiat Punto. Main thing to watch out for if you're going to buy one of these is front subframes, especially on the older ones, which started on about an 06. They're made of paper just about. Very expensive. Well, I'm saying very expensive for what an 06, 07 kind of Corsa is worth. Vauxhall were doing a recall at one point, but I believe they've stopped doing that by a certain year. I sent about 3 or 4 of my customers in, and they got brand new subframes fitted free of charge from Vauxhall. I think they've stopped doing that now, so that's that. Not really much else to speak of. That's a waiting for test, but that's one of the issues we've got today. 3 MOTs, and we're struggling to fit everything in as well as the work. Something else with them Corsas what go wrong are the ABS units. You tend to find if you're braking and the car's swerving all over the place, what happens is there's little valves inside the ABS unit stick, and it'll cause for a start MOT failure for braking balance. But when you're driving it, you'll find like the back wheels or the front wheels like lock up and everything. I've seen them go really bad. They're becoming a common fault with them. Like I've mentioned, the front subframes and keys, not so much on these ones, the newer ones. It's more the earlier ones, the 06, 07, 08, where they actually forget that key. They forget the key and everything needs reprogrammed in. So yeah, that's to look out for. So I'm going to wrap that one up. So like I've said, with these Insignias in general, just be very, very careful with these things. Cost, like I've mentioned, the 2 litre diesel ones suffer major problems with oil pump failures, the little pickups on them, the rear suspension. These, I think they've modified them on these ones. Let's have a quick look. If they have, I'll show you. If they haven't, they've changed them on this estate type. But on the older style Insignias, there's a little cross link bar on the back suspension which shears off and snaps, and you lose control. Basically, you all automatically acquire rear wheel steering at any given speed or corner, which is scary. I've drove a one with a snapped arm, and it's basically nearly undrivable. Actually, I only had to drive it from across the road into the garage. So yeah, just be careful with this new Vauxhall range, because they really are, I think they're just forgetting who they are and what they are, and you're just buying a flipping mashed up load of rubbish into one. Like I've already showed you, if you look on my previous video, what is it, the Greenland X? That's just a Citroen C3 rebadged. The Insignia isn't. I don't know what on earth these are now. I think they're a bit of a mix between the old ones, some Fiat stuff through in it, and some Citroen stuff through in somewhere along the line as well. So just be careful with them. The Hyundais and Kias, though, they're okay, but just be prepared to be paying a lot of money for parts. They're quite expensive. And like I've mentioned, the parts for these new Insignias, like Vauxhall range, are availability, trying to get stuff for them, bar from the dealers, which are super expensive, is nigh on impossible. And when you do get them, they're hard to get a hold of. So just watch what you're doing with it, really. I'm finding this more and more, and like I said, just generally electronics, like just to change a set of rear brake pads, we're having to go and borrow diagnostic equipment, and as you see, I've already got plenty of it, and if all that doesn't work on an 18 plate car, then what's going on? So they're obviously doing something in the background, Vauxhall, I think, to make things more difficult for other people. So we'll leave that one here. Please let us know what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. I've got some more stuff coming on the weekend, from the caravan, and like I've said, me little project. So we'll leave that one there. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like. If not, if you haven't already done so, leave a comment. Nice to hear from you guys. I will get back to you. I've just got so much on at the minute. And again, please, if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.